What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some pretty big news coming out of the LEC, coming from Mr. LEC Wooloo himself. So obviously we have been talking about some new teams, perhaps some new organizations coming into the LEC for quite some time, because we've known that Schalke has been in financial troubles. We know that they are most likely going to be selling their slot. There's even been rumors that they have sold their slot, are really close to selling their slot, are in the final stages of selling their slot, all that stuff, which would mean fresh blood into the league. But there's also some rumors, some rumblings, whatever you want to call it, going on around the scenes, and there has been for the last couple of years, about the LEC potentially expanding, potentially being more than a 10-team league, 12, 14, 16, whatever. We've seen it happen in other leagues. The LPL, I swear they have like 50 teams. I actually think it's like 18 teams or something like that, but it could potentially be successful. And with how deep the talent pool is in Europe, with so many European regional leagues and teams and all that stuff, it is pretty realistic. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about what the potential LEC expansion could look like, when it could be happening, how many teams, and all of that good stuff. Definitely make sure you guys drop a like on this video. I would appreciate it a ton. Really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. With that being said, here we go. So LEC Wooloo tweeted out, for me, this is earlier today, but I think this video is going to be coming out tomorrow, so yesterday for y'all. He said, Schalke selling their LEC spot is now confirmed, according to Sky Dirk. Now, again, we've had a couple different times where it's been confirmed, close to confirmed, whatever. This time, Wooloo saying it is confirmed. Again, he usually, he's right pretty dang often, so if he's saying and he's willing to say that it's close to confirmed, it does seem like Schalke will be gone. Now obviously this move is talking about for 2022. No matter what, Schalke is going to be ending out the summer split. They're going to be going on from there, so no matter what, nothing's going to change until early 2022. But what does this mean for Schalke, the org? What does this mean for their players? Is the new team going to come in, keep all the players? Are they going to have all those contracts? Are they going to get rid of all those players? Does that mean, guys like Broken Blade and guys like Limit, does that mean they're going to be spreading out all over the LEC? Because if so, that could be pretty interesting. If this new team is going to be holding on to Schalke's players, then they're getting a pretty dang good team already, and that could definitely be increasing the value of that slot for Schalke when they're selling this stuff off and everything. So that could be pretty interesting. Also, they have Gillius still there as well, so who knows exactly what's going to happen with all those players. That's just going to be speculation, but that is, one of the next big rumors I'm looking out for, because honestly, I think Broken Blade would be a pretty big free agent. I think there'd definitely be some teams in the LCS and LEC that would be very, very interested in his services. I think Limit has been really solid. I think Nuclear Int could potentially make a name for himself in this next split, and Neon's not bad either, but what Wooloo does have for us, is just, the Sky Dirk actually, confirming this news or whatever. But what he does go on to say is, obviously, the question is then, Schalke selling their spot, it's confirmed, whatever, who's buying it? And there has been a ton of rumors surrounding who's going to be buying it, because there's a ton of big esports organizations or up-and-coming esports organizations or even wannabe esports organizations all over the world, not just in Europe, in the United States, in China, Korea, everywhere, that would love a spot in the LEC. Having a spot in a major region League of Legends league is one of the most valuable things you can have in esports right now. We have seen the value of these franchises and organizations just absolutely skyrocket, absolutely go parabolic over the last couple of years. I mean, look at the valuations of something like TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid, G2. They've been absolutely exploding. League of Legends is still one of the most, one of the biggest, most profitable, the future growth and projection esports in the world. So, whoever gets a spot, it's going to be a big deal, but it's also going to be very expensive. So a lot of teams and organizations are going to be priced out right off the rip. So Wooloo did say, since so many people are asking him, he does not know yet who will be buying the Schalke spot, because it isn't sold yet. It was confirmed that they will sell, but it has not been sold. So that's an important distinction to make there. There's a difference between, them actually selling it and saying that they need to sell it. So they have decided that they are going to need to sell that spot. Obviously, Schalke, the soccer team, football team, whatever, has been in financial ruins over the last year. So now they finally got the word that, we're pulling the plug on the LEC. We're cashing out. We're taking the money and running. Can't blame them there. They need to keep their organization going. Rumors are contradicting for now, but what I often hear is that two orgs are still in the race to get the spot. Not sure who the highest bidder would be, and obviously having multiple teams willing to run each other up and outbid each other, that's going to be really awesome for Schalke, because they're an organization that's trying to make as much money as they can. That's great, but again, as that bid goes higher and higher and higher, that's just pricing out more and more organizations. So whoever ends up winning might not necessarily be the org that people exactly want or has the largest fan base or whatever. It's going to depend on who's got the investors, who's got the money, and who's ready to go. And in some ways, that can be a good thing, because if you have a team coming in the LEC that doesn't have a lot of money, they're not going to be able to pay big-name players, they're not going to be able to go get free agents, make big splashes, whatever, then unless they hit on some rookies or some free agents or whatever, they're probably not going to be that great of a team. But if you have an org that's willing to come in, spend money, do some crazy signings, go after cool stuff, try and make a big name for themselves, that could be really awesome. That could create a whole new fan base, a whole new rivalry in Europe, all that type of stuff, where, you know, bringing in small market teams that are going to struggle financially and aren't going to be able to make big moves, that's so replaceable. That's so boring. That's not really what the LEC needs. They need those big spenders. They need those big dollars. Obviously, the players would love that, but I really think the fans would love that as well. Because, you know, we saw in the LCS over this last year, when once the LCS had like 3-4 teams that got hit really hard by COVID and they couldn't spend money, that makes the league suck. You do not want your bottom teams being cheapskates. You want all your teams having money, spending it, going crazy, making big moves. That'll also help those European players who keep getting poached over to like North America and everything. That'll help them stay. It would just be better for everyone, I promise. But what Wooloo said is one of the orgs left doesn't currently hold a league team. So that's, you know, maybe a little hint. He always does these like little riddles and stuff. So you know, one of these orgs isn't an ERL. They're like an outside organization. And as he previously said, K Corp is not one of those orgs. He's really sorry to K Corp fans, but so many people ask, because K Corp is the most popular, biggest fan base, best viewership, everything European Regional League team. So a lot of people would love to see them in the LEC, and if they make it into the LEC, that is going to be crazy, because the viewership numbers for them are going to be so crazy. And especially once we get fans back in the stage and stuff, you know, people are going to be going crazy for K Corp when and if they ever get in the LEC. But again, doesn't look like they're interested in Schalke's spot. I think the money is a big barrier there. But it is possible that K Corp would join the LEC in the future, as an expansion to 12 teams is rumored for 2023. So again, we're talking about Schalke selling the slot for 2022, and Wooloo is saying that it does seem like an expansion will be happening into 2023. Now, obviously, a lot of teams you might think would be like, oh, well, we're not going to spend all this money on Schalke's spot if we can just, you know, potentially get into the league in 2023. But there is a lot of risk in that, because, you know, spots in the LEC are not going to come up very often. After Schalke sells this spot and after these next 2 spots open up, who knows when the next team's going to be sold, when the next expansion's going to be, whatever. So meeting Schalke's asking price, yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive than whatever Riot's going to charge you in the next year, but it also could be your ticket in. It could be your way in, and, you know, getting in a year sooner, getting to develop your team, your brand, and having that guaranteed in could be really big. But it does look like that, you know, Wooloo saying the LEC is probably going to be expanding to 12 teams in 2023, and I think that is really cool. People have been asking for this. It seems like LEC viewership can support it. It seems like the European talent pool can support it. You know, great solo queue, huge player base, a ton of European Regional League players, fans, teams. You know, it would give extra coaches, extra commentators, extra broadcasters. Everyone would get more games and everything. Again, expanding to 12 teams can be good, it can be bad. It depends who those extra teams, orgs are going to be. If they are inspired teams and orgs that are willing to come in, build brands, build fan bases, try and win games, then that would be absolutely awesome. That'd be crazy. If it's boring teams, boring orgs who have no idea what they're doing, that could maybe be not so good. Some of the names being thrown around right now, I believe somebody says it down here. It's on one of these posts where people do talk about the teams a little bit. I don't know if I can actually find it, but there have been a lot of other rumors about who these teams are potentially going to be. I think it's actually on this one, because there are some different names being thrown around. Yeah, Heretics, Giants, and BDS. People are talking about the 3 teams that are going to potentially be in the running. And then again, K Corp was potentially in that running for that 12-team expansion in 2023. And I think that's going to be so exciting. I'm so hyped up for that. I love those young European players having more spots in the LEC. I love a new team getting a chance to you know, make something of this. And I think it would be really cool. But Schalke seems to be selling their spot. LEC seems to be expanding. Schalke in 2022. LEC expansion 2023. Pretty big news coming out today. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What team would you like to see in the LEC? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.